So this is our pre-stream waiting room. Carl and Samuel are just getting ready.
Okay.
And there's
Okay.
myself.
Are we on? Are we 3:30?
328.
Oh, we're almost there. Well, let's take a look out over the top of the trailers. I think this is a key point that people don't often get to see, top of the trailer. But key point that we try to make is nice one piece all the way across the trailer, but you can see that beautiful one piece shell across the roof. And this is Samuel, and you'll know this better than me. I know it's I know it's a 21C. That part I know, but no, in terms of leaky roofs on trailers, not on an escape trailer, but leaky roofs on other trailers. A lot of the issues start up top.
Absolutely.
And as you can see on the escape, it's just a beautiful, solid, clean structure on the roof. The only points that need maintenance on there are essentially the Proflex points that you have on the vents, on the max fan, and potentially on the fridge vent, although it's a bit more hidden from the elements. So really minimal maintenance work to be done to protect your trailer. It's so well built just from the get-go that there should be no issues for people. But it's good, you get to see the solar panel. Obviously, I'll point things out then for people because they don't know them. Solar panel, fridge vent, air conditioning unit, then we have a couple of vents, and the max fan, and then obviously the toilet vent on the back, on that side, the black one over there as well. None of these units have the jack antenna on it, but I think we'll just do it quick because we never get to see the jack antenna, but there is a fifth wheel in our orientation room that has a jack antenna on it. So maybe, Harrison, if you could cover the lens there while we zip through to the other area, we'll have a quick look over the top and we'll have a look at the jack antenna. And these units are getting ready, are starting to get washed. Oh, there's wrong. Ah, no, I was right. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Quick look at this unit down here. So, where my finger now? There it is. So that is what we call the jack antenna for the TV. So it sits a little higher, and of course it'll, if I could do it, if you can stop moving the camera. So this part will potentially turn, and there's a dial inside that can turn that'll turn that jack TV antenna around. And that's, of course, that is also a 21 Classic sitting right there, and it does not have solar on it. This is what the back of the unit looks like with no solar on it. Okay, excellent, good. Let's move on then to the thank you, Harrison. Okay, well, everybody follow us. Samuel is right behind.
Before we get started, maybe we'll do a introduction as we always try to do.
Yeah, so welcome to Escape Trailer. My name is Carl Kenny. I'm the president here. My colleague.
I'm Samuel Schnebeli, and I support in sales and business administration.
Yeah.
And I'm Harrison Kenny, and I'm the cameraman.
That's it. Okay, very good. We have our trio.
Yeah.
Here. So welcome everyone today. What we think we'll do, what we're going to do today is 21 Classic. We only have one of these left in inventory for sale. I have a few more that we're going to manufacture in late June, July time, and they are available for people to pre-order at this time. I would say if you're watching this and you're anyway considering getting in on that, move very, very fast. Trailers are selling exceptionally fast. We sold 7 21s this week already, and they're going to go very, very quickly. So without further ado, Samuel and myself and Harrison behind us in the background here, we're going to do a quick walk around on the Escape 21, and we'll kind of do a bit of a combo deal with them this time. We'll look at many features. We'll just move it a little more quickly. We'll do kind of the storage space and the sort of all the niceties of of the trailer, maybe more a bit salesy type stuff. And then we'll mix it in with some orientation activities. So we'll have a look at how would you turn things on and off and use things. And we're going to switch things up today. So Samuel's going to do more of the exterior of the trailer and a lot of the operational stuff. And I'm kind of just going to sit back and be an observer for most of it, and then I'll chime in with you on the interior.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you're the man.
Okay, let's do this. We start in the very back here. Start in this corner here where we see the optional 12 volt and USB connections. So those are great to charge your phones, and Escape has many validated options. That's one of those. So when you purchase an Escape, it already comes with a lot of standard features, and then probably an even longer list of options that we can help you with. Okay. On this side here, pointing out to you, we got the 120 volt outlets. So you can sit outside underneath the awning, work on your laptop, for instance. Right there. Comes with the standard steel rims. You can upgrade to aluminum, and next to that we'll show you the outside shower. Outside shower is an option, and the way you operate is basically it comes with a hose like that, and you press it in, and then you can select between cold and hot. Wash your feet, or if you have a dog or kids, you can spray them off. Some people use it, they build a little kitchen station outside. Just remember when you're done to turn this off, release the pressure in here, and then it will be easier for you to disconnect just by pushing this back like that, and it comes right off. Okay, that's that. Then we make our way around the unit. A little note for you when you head out, just always make sure you have the windows closed, the checks up, and a couple of things to always walk around the unit, basically see if you're ready to leave. Cables off, hoses off. Okay. Fridge vent is another thing. So, this is the range hood vent. So you see it's open right now, and while you're driving you wouldn't have that closed. You just press it in like that, and then off you go.
So while we're here, on this unit has obviously it's a one. The Escape trailer is a one-piece fiberglass unit. We make the top shell, we make the bottom shell, we put the two pieces together, we fiberglass all in the inside, and then after all of that we put this belly band on that kind of wraps around the trailer like this. And this is just cosmetic. It's just hiding the cut line between the two units from when they came out of the mold, when they were in their separate molds, and then they came together while they were in the molds, and we glass on the inside. So that's kind of what that belly band is for. On this trailer we have the frameless windows. Frameless windows are a beautiful aesthetic. They're a double glazed window. In fact, all of the windows, with the exception of the rock guard window at the front of the trailer, are all double glazed windows, and that goes for frameless windows and framed windows, all the same. Frameless windows, all top hinge. Some people call them awning style windows, but they all are a top hinge window. And as you can see, there is no frame around the outside of this window, so it has a beautiful aesthetic on the trailer. These are an option, not a very expensive option, but they are an option. And the standard, Harrison will quickly zip around and show, is the framed windows. And the difference, of course, here is the framed windows. All framed windows are sliders, and all our windows have book screens on them as well. So all frame windows are sliders, and the difference between the two, pros and cons. Some people love one, some people love the other. Some people claim better airflow through one and then through the other. I think a couple of things that are absolutely true are that these frameless windows are a little bit more exposed to something flying up off the side of the road and hitting the corner of them, whereas the framed are not. frameless windows you can open during the rain and water will hit and run down, and depending on the direction the rain is coming from, if you have the framed windows, as you can see right here, it can get water inside. So that's kind of a sort of the key ones on those. The framed windows arguably maybe let in more light because the fixed part of the window does not have a book screen behind it, so it doesn't diffuse or stop the light that much. I don't know if that's much of a difference, but like that. And then some people claim that the framed windows provide better airflow than the frameless windows. Of course, what could be the key point for a lot of people is the combination of whether you're going to use whether you're going to have a manual awning or a power awning. Can then, for some people, help them decide on the window choice that they're going to use. Framed windows are standard, as is the manual awning is also standard. So if I had a frameless window on here, then I would not be able to open it very far because this would be in the way. So if we were camping somewhere and we wanted to retract the awning but yet have the window open, then the framed window is probably a better choice for people. You know, I think so.
Speaking of awning, we could quickly demonstrate this power awning here. First up, you have a little button inside, an on and off switch,
which you can see right there.
So that's just an extra protection. We switch this one on, and with this remote control we can operate the awning. Like that. And you see underneath there is a LED light strip. You can dim this and to kind of create a really nice mood underneath the awning. And I'll show you how this looks if it's fully extended. We have one over here. And an interesting little feature is this box here. This is for the wind sensor, and we can basically give this different strength depending on at what point you would like that awning to go back inside, if it's windy, if it's a little windy or a little more heavy wind. That's that. Okay?
Oh, could you show us how to turn the awning light on and off?
So we've got a little button right here, and what it does, when you look up there, the light dims down to the point that it dies off, and you can control it how bright you would like to have it.
Yeah, it works really nice underneath the awning. Really gives it glow underneath the awning. That's good.
Okay.
Thank you, Samuel.
So next to the door, this unit here has the option of a propane quick connect. This is connected to your front propane bottles, and so we assume this hose here goes to your barbecue that already has a regulator inside, so your barbecue doesn't need one, and then just turn it on right here. That's a nice way of cooking outside. Okay. Also, with regards to our customization, you see these graphics here. You can choose different colors. That's all included, and there's an option of raising the entire chassis actually by about 258, a bit over 2.5 inches, to give you even more ground clearance on bumpy roads. Storage. The 21 Classic has the batteries in the back, so here we have plenty of storage up front. We built these ourselves, and they also serve as a rock guard. And Carl, if you don't mind closing this up,
sure,
then we can show how to lock it.
So these latches here are adjustable. So it's on a screw. You can adjust the screw to adjust the tightness. So it's an over-center latch. So this pulls and locks in place, and then you can put a padlock on. Storage box is optional. Storage box is not standard, except for returning customers. Returning customers get a free storage box.
Okay, propane. 220-pound propane bottles. Nice feature here. This will automatically turn over. So if you have one bottle that's empty, then the other one will kick in, and there's a little marker here that shows you whether you have to refill it or you're still good. Comes with a storage with a cover, and underneath you see this little area here. This is where the bungee cord goes to secure it, and then with this hatch you can easily get in and out, open and close those bottles. This one has the optional power tongue. There's a little light right here, and then this one will lift the trailer up and down, and if you don't have power in here, then there is a crank which you can use to manually operate that as well. And Carl is pointing out where that would go. It's behind that
there. Okay, that's good. And there's something else to mention. So we did a video last week when we did one of the orientations, and we did a part of the video we talked about hitches. A lot of people ask us about hitches. So obviously on the Escape you would need a 2-inch ball to connect, and then this is our hitch sort of area. And when you do it correctly, you can unhitch. If you and so it simply pulls back and is in place. So if Samuel, this now goes in and move forward, down, and we're locked. That's how the hitch operates. Of course, we have our chains and our breakaway cable. Can you see this over here, Arson? Our breakaway cable, which would emergency brakes. So if this were to pull, it will lock the brakes on the trailer. What we're showing down below, and it's just here underneath the 21 at the moment, but this is called the E2 Fastway, or E2 by Fastway. E2 is their brand name, and this is a trunnion mount load equalizer and anti-sway hitch. So the entire assembly, this part, the bars and the attachments which fit onto the frame, all come in this assembly, including the drawbar, which is this guy. So depending on the hitch height of your vehicle, you may get away with this size, which comes included, but if not, you're going to need to buy something a little bit longer, which is obviously additional in it. And this assembly comes with the 2-inch ball on it. Okay.
And just a little note here: when you purchase a trailer with the hitch, then we will adjust the hitch so it fits nicely to your truck.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Rock
on the front of this trailer, so the obviously 21 Classic has a smallish optional window which goes in the front, and then this is our rock guard. I have to go to the other side to close this down. There we go. And it closes up, and it's a simple sort of flexible cover on the front, and it's just to stop any rocks coming up and hitting and breaking your window. Always want to have one of these on your trailer if you have this window. This will not last long otherwise. Okay, that's that part. Our marker lights obviously up top. Beautiful, beautiful.
You see the windows here, they are split windows. You can individually open those for airflow.
Oh, that's nice. That's something I forgot to mention, by the way. On the frameless windows, the frameless windows, you have the split window configuration on these longer ones, so it'll be same on the rear of the trailer, whereas not on the framed.
Yeah, so the framed ones in the back won't open, whereas the frameless will open up. Sure. Yeah. We see a nice hatch here for storage underneath, and then
This underneath the bed.
Right next, another optional shower here. So this unit has a shower on both sides. Moving along, the water heater. An Escape trailer comes with the standard water heater that will heat your water with propane. There is an option for a two-way hot water system. You see down here is a little switch on and off. If you go to a campground, you have the 120 volt power there. This is where you switch that on and you save your propane and you heat with electricity. Always make sure that your hot water tank has water. You can check it by gently pulling this one, but be careful, this may be hot if you already had your hot water on. Okay, close that one up, and then the next, you got it.
Yeah, you just
Fingers there.
moved it.
There we go. Very easy access to your valves. When you're at the campground, connect this to the sewage hose, goes in a dump station. When you dump, you always first dump your black, your toilet water, and when you're done, you push that back in, after which you pull the gray one, that's your shower and sink. Gray water that will wash out the hose, and then you push that back in. Nice little light here for dumping in the early morning or evening. That's for your coax cable for cable TV. That would go right in there. If you have little children, teach them about this area. That's hot, that's your furnace outlet. Fridge, that's the inlet, and Harrison is going to show us the outlet there. So at the campground, when you connect city water, that happens here. There's a little, you always want to have this pointing out. If you accidentally drop this one and put it back in, if you put it the other way around, you will find that once you have the water pump on, water is coming out. That's a commonly happens, and then just put it back in the right way. This way the water will not come out. Next to it is your freshwater gravity fill. This one will fill your tank, your freshwater tank. So it's always a good habit when you get to a campground, fill up your freshwater tank first, then connect to city water. This way, next day you go to a provincial campground without any water, you know you have a full tank. Another nice little hatch here. Now we are underneath the dinette. And what we see here, this is used for storage of your sewage hose, but you can also put in fishing rods, long items, and next to that.
So we can also, so for people like, obviously your sewage hose will be in here pretty much all the time, and then people often add a second one. They'll put a second one on, and then they'll use that to put fishing rods or other pieces of items into that sewer tube, or that tube holder that's on there.
With regards to this optional detachable power cord, so we have either the standard where we pull it out, or the optional which we detach. Reminds me, I would always recommend, if you have the choice, if you have your trailer close by your house, the evening before you head out for camping, put it on power, have your fridge on, and charge your batteries, have your fridge cool down already, and you're ready to go next day. In the back, our bumper with the 2x2 receiver for your bikes, spare tire, that's all standard. This one has a little light over there, and the rear camera up top. Rear camera has a screen. That screen you carry in your vehicle, so it serves two purposes. One is, yes, for backing up, but still when you back up you usually want to have a person here just to make sure no kids are running in between. But it serves also when you're driving. You see what's happening in the back. If there's a big truck coming and you want to overtake, so you get a good view of what's happening on the road. So now we're going to go back up front. So you see this unit here has the double step. It comes with a single step standard, and Harrison can quickly show this on this unit over here. And then the double step, especially if you go for the high lift axle, especially then we recommend, consider that double step. It just easily folds over like this, flips in, it's out of the way. Little handle to step inside. And little note on the fire extinguisher. If you want to check if that fire extinguisher is still good, just press this little green knob in. If it pops back up, it's fine. So we looked at our awning. We switched this one off when we are traveling for safety. And we have two light switches up here. One is for the center aisle. You see that turns them on and off. And I can also do this individually. And I can select whether I want 1 or 2. And the other light is for outside. So if you're getting out of your unit in the evening, you don't have to step out. You can just operate that from inside. Okay. So maybe one word with regards to propane. If you imagine you just starting the season, you just put 2 full propane bottles on and you open them up. Our recommendation is start with your burners, have that on, maybe hold a lighter there, and as the propane flows through the lines and arrives here, it will light up. It may start with a bit of a colored yellow flame, and after a little while it turns blue. This way you know there's no more air in the lines, and that's a good point then to start your fridge up if you run on propane, or to start your furnace as well.
Very good. So this is a beautiful trailer. This is obviously our 21 Classic. As you can see, ample room. This particular layout has the bed in the front of the trailer. This is a good long bed. Maybe I'll jump on there so people can see how long it really is. So I'm 6'3.5" ish, thereabouts. So obviously sit back quite comfortably, and you know I have lots of space. I have lots of space in this trailer on this bed. It's actually super duper comfy, and I can still sit up if needs be and read. And of course I have my captain's lights to the side. A pillow behind would be nice. Oh, that's better. Lovely. Captain's light with a power switch, with a switch on and off here for it. And this unit comes with speakers, so these are optional. Speakers are in place, so I can have some tunes going. And on my windows, there's either this type of knob, or it'll be more of a straight rectangular knob, but a simple closing mechanism for the window. And if we're going on the trip and we're closing up, we'll just make it snug like this. That's nice and snug. Of course, I'm also here, and while I'm here I have my blinds. So the blinds just are on some strings, so it's a friction pull. I had a customer asking me some photographs of these the other day, so it's just a basic blind, and I can adjust the tension over here, so we can adjust the tension to make it stiffer or easier to push and pull up and down. Of course, bug screens are in place. Now, a nice thing with this unit is the amount of storage. You'll find this in a lot of escape trailers. So ample storage all around this unit. Another thing I forgot to mention is this is our maple color unit.
So you see the storage runs all across the entire length.
So lots of storage, lots of opportunity to put totes and things up into the unit. At the base, at the bottom of this bed, we have this is a 12-volt plug, and of course a couple of USBs, so we can supply this 12-volt and USB. And then of course our 110, 120 plugs will be on here. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but if you're plugged into the power supply because you're at your campsite, then of course you'll have power coming through these plugs. And if you're boondocking, so if you're at a campsite with no power, then you'll be running off your batteries. If you're running off your batteries, your power will come from your your 12 volt supply, unless you have an inverter. And what an inverter does is it takes DC power from your batteries and then converts it to AC power. And as an option, there's two options there. One option is you can have one outlet, and it's usually underneath the bench or on the face of the bench. And the other option is that you can have all the outlets powered from that inverter as well. So all of these outlets could be powered from the inverter. So if we're boondocking and we want to just run something small with low current draw, because otherwise you'll draw your batteries down really fast, then we can plug in here if you have the inverter and the all the outlets selected. And of course, with that, a person would normally get a solar panel or two, as can be put on this unit. 2 solar panels. Solar panels are 190 watts each. They deliver about 9.3 amps when it's good full sun and they're clean. 9.3 amps of current down into your battery. So you could have roughly 18 amps going in, and the battery will hold 225, 226, I think it was, somewhere around there, amp hours. So you can just divide one by the other and you see how long it takes to get that charge back up. Remember, solar panels only charge the batteries. So the solar panel will not power anything that's coming from here. That power comes from the battery, and the solar panel just keeps the battery full, as long as you're not using too much at the same time. Okay.
Very good, thanks. While we are here, we can actually add an additional window on this side. The unit has a lot of light already, loads of windows all around, but you can still add one more if you like to. Storage wise, so this is in our, you see the maple and how it's put together. We've got 2 drawers here. Bit more storage underneath here. And then where Carl sits, there's a little hatch.
So the underbed storage, which is accessible from here, and also accessible, thank you, Harrison, also accessible from under here. So we can lift up to access the storage from there. So we can see quite a lot of storage, nicely finished underneath. So that's a beautiful feature for us. And then also, maybe Harrison, you have to zip over here again. Sorry, we're moving around like crazy here today. Some lovely little cubbies that we have up the side, which are very handy for little pieces. And then this trailer, of course, has its bathroom. And I'll go inside and we can have a look at the bathroom. So somebody asked me the other day, foot flush or hand flush? What's the difference? And I can't really think of a huge difference. And maybe Joldy has something better than this, but all I could say was, well, foot flush, you don't have to put your head over the toilet to flush it. You can stand back, but for foot flush you have to balance. So it really depends on your mobility or your loathing of having to bend over whatever items might be in there to flush them. So 2 different ones. This one has the foot flush, which is the option in here. So here I am inside this shower. You can see I cannot stand up totally straight. So when I'm showering in here, I'll either squat down a little bit or I'll sit down. Remember, I'm just over 6'3", but this is a fairly comfortable environment for me to wash off. I think most people use the shower when they're boondocking, and then for the most part they use the shower in the campground that they're in for the rest of the time when they're at a campground. So that's this here. Above me I have the vent fan, which we saw at the very beginning of the live stream from up on the stairs. Up is open and there's a little button here, turns the fan on and removes that smell. God, Harrison, your aftershave smells lovely today. And I can turn it off and then pull down to lock it. So that now locks it and I can actually see the vanes have stopped moving because it's pulled down against it, which means you do not want to have this turned on while you have the vent closed, because it'll burn the motor out. Last little item down here from a functional perspective, since if you don't mind, Samuel, since I'm in here. So down here we have our drain, and our drain is on a screw, so we can screw it off or we can screw it back down. And so when we're traveling, we like to have that closed just like that. Beautiful. The inside here of the door is a waterproof laminate that we have on the door. This trailer comes with the optional bathroom window as well, so it's a frosted pane for privacy, but just allows a little bit more natural air to flow around in the bathroom. And of course, lastly, the light sits up here as well. So very functional bathroom space. Okay, back to you, Samuel.
Thank you very much, Carl. We find this unit is one of the best units when you consider staying longer in it, maybe even living in it and traveling the country. One of the reasons is, as we mentioned before, is how much storage there is. This one here, just give you an idea, if I put my arm in there, how deep that is. You can use it also for a microwave, which fits nicely in here.
Wired for there.
And here an idea, so the jacket, it's about the size of this jacket here, and I can hang quite a few of those in here, no problem. There's a little hanging rod underneath, and then under that there's these two little compartments for shoes or for storing maybe more food. Speaking of food, fridge. We have the 6-foot cubic fridge in here. Nice. We have two different compartments, one designated just for your frozen food with more space on the side, and then you have your area here on the side. These ones can be moved in different locations, and for your vegetables right down here. So lots of space. It's a 3-way fridge. To operate it, you just press the on button here, and then you can go to auto, and it will then basically select the power source. It can do AC, DC and gas. We usually say AC campground or gas for boondocking. DC we say dead car, because that will drain your battery, but it could also run on battery, but you have to be really careful that you switch it off if you turn off your car. So remember, auto and gas or AC. In terms of cooling it down, again, it's really good to cool those fridges down a night before you're heading out, so it's nice and cool. The setting is right here. I would recommend to just put it on 3 and then let it cool down. If you put it on 5, it won't cool faster. So 3 is good to start. If you feel it needs a little more, then after a little while you can go up to 5. But do give it a good amount of time to cool down.
I was just checking the chat there, and there was a customer wanted to know about the medicine cabinet, or the cabinet there, and if it opened up. So there's an example of how it opens up.
See that? And then now it just closes
It's over
like that.
There we go. Beautiful.
Coming over to the kitchen, those who like cooking, this is a good kitchen for it. Loads of space when you look at how much area you have to cook, to prepare your food, with extension flip-up counter right there. So you can do a proper meal in this unit, and of course do the dishes after. I had a nice one-on-one tour. For those who don't know what that means, today we do a live stream, but we offer one-on-one, and what that is, you and I, we meet up, or you and Harrison, we go through the unit that you want to see. You can book us in. There's a link for our calendar on our website, under Get Started, and we'll go through this. We go through the questions you have. So the customer that looked at this today, he basically mentioned that's a nice feature. It's easy to put big pots underneath. It's residential style. Makes camping much more enjoyable. And then when you're done, you can close this up, and again use this one as well as a place to place items.
This counter extension, you can probably never have enough space in a kitchen for cutting and storing and doing things. So this is a very nice way just to add a little bit more countertop space. In the 21 Classic, this is an optional counter extension, because there's already lots and lots of space. So we put this one as an optional one, whereas in the NE and the 19, it's standard.
Going over to storage, we have the one on top here. Again, that's a pass-through storage, so there's no space wasted. And I recommend you that when you're done cooking, to wait a little while until this is not hot anymore before you close it, to make sure this doesn't spring on the hot surface. Or if you start traveling, close it so it doesn't close while you're taking sharp corners. This is our standard, so 2 burners, and we do have the option of 3 burners with the oven. In the standard you have all of this space down here, whereas if you have the oven, that would sit right there. 2 drawers for cutlery right here. And then there's more storage.
And lots and lots more storage space.
So that shows you a little bit about the craftsmanship. These are hardwood doors, so that's maple, and you can choose oak as well.
I think you've been dealing with Tony and Penny, haven't you?
Yes. They're in the chat today.
Oh, they're in the
chat. They're with us today.
Excellent.
Welcome. We had a very nice delivery today for those of you who happen to have a Jeep Gladiator. This is something that came up recently. People have Jeep Gladiator, and Glade and Sherry just sent me a picture. Thank you very much, from Sumas. We deliver across the border to Sumas at no cost, and they just showed me a picture with their beautiful. They have a 19-foot together with the truck, and even the color matches. White truck, white, beautiful. Thanks for the pictures. Yeah,
Sandra, can I quickly talk about the lights down?
Yes.
The lights in the center, since we're here. I think to point out, the lights down the middle of the trailer, or the center line of the trailer, are all double pole lights, and they can be turned on and off from the center switch individually, and then be switched over to a single one. And then also down here on the entryway,
We did cover that.
we did cover that already. Okay, center switch turns lights on and off. We did turn that, and then obviously you have the same on this side. Oh, this switch needs to be, there you go. This needs to be changed. So this is what a faulty light looks like on the single side. But as you can see, it works. So it's a switch issue on this one. So we'll change that out.
Okay, speaking of light, we have a light here on the vent. And over here, what that does, I see my levels, my battery, my fresh water, black and gray. So that gives you an idea how long you can stay outside, or when you have to fill up or dump. Water heater for propane is here, and the water pump. You will need that one when you're not connected to city water, so that brings your water out of your freshwater tank. Keep it on when you need it, and switch it off when you don't. Otherwise, it may wake you up at night and make a funny sound because it cycles. So that's what that pump is for. Okay, we covered the kitchen. We covered the fridge. Let's have a look at our air conditioning furnace and our max vent. So maybe starting over here. This is a nice feature when you are boondocking, and it will run on your 6-volt batteries. To switch it on, just press the button over here. Okay, now we can adjust the speed of it.
Get in there, show it a little closer.
These are the buttons here, and we can also change whether it sucks air in or blows it out. We'll do that with this button. It stopped, and now it reverses the flow. Okay, this way we switch it off. You can basically, this one can be operational even when it rains, because you have that hood on top. And to close, you bring this one down like that. Nice and easy. And then lock it back up. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Carl. Air conditioning. So air conditioning, microwave, you will need 120 volts. Those will not run on your batteries. I'll show you how you operate this. So on this side, this Dometic thermostat, just gently press it. You see how quickly it reacts. You basically don't have to do much there, just very gently, and you can go to the air conditioning. I think I've just kicked it off.
There it goes.
Oops. Now we can go to the furnace as well, or switch it off again. It takes a little while for it to stop, and that's fine. If you have the air conditioning installed at the time of build, it will operate here. If you have the air conditioning not yet in, but have it ready for air conditioning, then this one here will be changed to an analog or a manual dial for the furnace, and the air conditioning itself will be operated on the unit. So air conditioning can be added later, that's definitely possible. However, if you like to have this thermostat here, have the air conditioning in at the very beginning. Okay, you noticed when I went in, I moved this table. So this table is on a slider, and I can also adjust it underneath. And what that does, it just makes it easier for people to get in and out. And it will also turn into a bed and then rest on these runners here. Yeah. So I can lift that out, take those legs out. It will rest on here, and those cushions, they are about 4 inches thick, so comfortable to sit or sleep on. And the rear cushion that I'm sitting here, those 2 cushions will fit right in here, and you can sleep on this one as well. Okay, more lights up here. We looked at those.
More storage space.
One of the options that we have is called a surge protector. So the surge protector basically protects a unit from too high voltage at the campground. When you see a little box like this down here, this basically is indicating if there's any arrows and what arrows. Or if you use a generator, then you can basically disable it to be able to use the generator even though you have the surge protector. So that's an option that we offer on the escapes.
Very good. And we've done quite a beside
Yeah,
Sam
sure.
over here. So we've done a lot of these videos now, and solar is one that people, an electrical system is one that people can be quite interested in. Not everybody's interested in it, but some people who are particular about the electrical system are very interested. So I think all of the level one orientations that I've done to date all have a fairly detailed explanation of the solar system. So what we'll do is we'll get Harrison, our little resident movie and IT guy, to and sales
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. Master of many, not none.
There you go.
I'm thinking. So we'll get Harrison to highlight reel out what we've done, and then we'll have it ready so we can just attach it here. But
Yes.
I would say go back and have a look. If someone wants to look at the solar system, I've done some good detailed explanations of that.
Yeah.
So and the different systems, they can look at that. And we talked about the inverter
Yes.
today already.
Yeah.
So
You notice that we are sitting here in a rear dinette. So we have the bed up front, the rear has your dinette, which is beautiful when you back up into a lake area. Often, not always, but often you will back up to campsites and you get that view, and that's one of the nice things about the rear dinette. Also behind Carl we have the emergency exit. One of the features on this one, it's basically opening up like that to get a lot of airflow through that window alone. And all of them have the puck screens.
okay, I think that covers. Yeah. I think everyone knows that this table turns into a bed.
Yeah.
So this dinette area will turn into a decent sized bed.
Yeah.
For a couple of people. Right. I think any questions, and we'll close before we close it off. I noticed
open up for questions. Yeah.
and but I see that like we have Jolie and Dustin on at the moment, so we have one of our sales specialists, Jolie, whose product knowledge is outstanding, and then Dustin, of course, who looks after everybody from the after sales perspective. It's one thing we really seek to do at Escape and do better than anybody else is the after sales support. We know that things don't always go as 100% as planned through the build process, and sometimes on the delivery side things can also go wrong. So we sort of pride ourselves in saying, listen, we will look after you, we will fix it, and we will look after you, and we'll help you get through this so that your experience can be as wonderful as you expected, and expected based on the experience that everyone else has had. So Dustin's there to help us from the after sales perspective, which is very, very important. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we've got any questions, and I'm thinking even if we did, Dustin and Jolie will answer them probably far better than you or I will. So the actors can sign off.
Yep.
Now, so we'll say thank you to Harrison for the videoing. Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you, and do make use of the one-on-one. We very much looking forward to seeing you there and go through whether it's an inventory unit or any of our showroom units. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, very, very much so. Thank you, Samuel, for taking everyone through the complete experience.
Yes.
Today, that was really, really valuable.
Pleasure.
Thank you for everybody. So I appreciate you for that. And everybody, thank you very much. This is Carl, Escape Trailer, built just for you.